What is going on, everybody? It is Space Chief. Today is Monday, August the 8th of 2011. It is very late at night. It's almost Tuesday, and I have a surprise. This is full episode number 2, and with me today is someone who is one of my good WoW buddies who's going to be a regular on the show from now on. My friend, Utters. Utters, go ahead and introduce yourself. Give yourself a little bit of a background, please.
Hey guys, my name is Utters. I have been making World of Warcraft videos, live streams, and graphical art for about the last 6 months, and I've just recently gotten into the the Blizzard news, gaming news scene. So I thought I'd help Space Chief out with these episodes.
By recently,
And
he means today.
yeah, did a lot of reading of articles today.
It's a good thing
And
this show's based on opinion.
yeah. If you go to the EVADEcast channel, I made all the channel art, the background, and the logo. So you can go subscribe to my channel. Link will be in the description and
Yep.
whatnot.
Yep.
Wait, did we get a new logo?
Yeah. Have you not checked the channel? See,
Have you not seen it?
we have regulars on the show that don't even bother to check the channel. And yes, that
He's
is
new.
Ender. Ender is with us
They're-
once again. Very happy to have him back. He is going to be a regular from now on, if not on every episode. So it looks like
I'm
it's going
trying
to be the
on
four
every
of us.
episode.
Sadly, Natsavard is not with us tonight. He is not feeling too good. He went to sleep, and we're just gonna run this episode without him. So that being
Cute.
said, I have a little bit of news before we start with our articles. News is this. After much consideration, after much feedback, not really much feedback as far as the YouTube channel goes, but much
Got some
friend
comments.
feedback. Yeah, a couple comments got left. I have decided to change the format of EVADEcast. What we're going to do from now on is shorter videos more frequently, probably 2 to 3 a week, including the real short videos like the one I put up a couple nights ago. Occasionally, we'll still do the really long videos if people like them, and we'll do the very long 2-hour long podcasts like we did the first full
And
episode.
just if I can interject there,
Sure.
some of the other regulars, like not only Space Chief, will sometimes also be making the shorter episodes and uploading to the channel.
That's true.
Just,
Thank you. Got all of
just
that.
on their own. If we find an article or a piece of news that we'd like to comment on, and it's just like a small thing, we just want to make a blurb on it and touch on it, I think we can probably just make a small 10-15 minute episode just talking about it and upload it to the channel.
Yep, just like I did the other night, and it works just fine. We're going to try to follow the same format so everything looks all nice and pretty and uniform and all that. Anyway, housekeeping done. Let us get on with the news for early of the week of the 8th of 2011 of August. First things first, this past weekend, Blizzard opened up their European Invitational Battle.net tournament for StarCraft 2 and for World of Warcraft PvP. Just don't really want to go in depth on this. I didn't get a chance to watch it, so I don't really want to make comments considering I don't really know what happened other than the fact that Rhett beat out Naniwa in StarCraft 2, which apparently was a pretty good 2-1 victory.
It was 2-0 actually.
Was it 2-0 or was it 2? Oh no, it was 2-0. My bad. Oops. See, I didn't watch it. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But either way, congratulations to Rhett and to Naniwa. I love watching both of them on MLG. Pretty cool to see them in their own environment back home, competing for the top bracket and still making the top bracket. And we had Team Showtime go up against Dina Trio
and win 2-1.
And win 2-1 in WoW 3v3 PvP. So congratulations to them. Nice big checks waiting for them there. If you'd like to see the photos from the winners bracket and the winners receiving their checks, I'm going to leave a link, as always, in the description of this video. Now, on to part 2.
The more important news.
More important news of this week. Last week we touched on Diablo 3 quite a bit. We are all very excited for it.
This week is no different.
Yes, I am giddy like a schoolgirl. I'm afraid that I'm going to need a mop and bucket to clean up in a couple minutes. But regardless, there is a second controversy going on with this.
Oh my.
It's kind of a big one. Now, earlier this week, Bashiok who's been a blue poster for quite a while now, I believe.
It's been several years. Yeah, he originally posted for WoW, just the WoW forums, but
That's
then
right.
since Blue Posters stopped posting on WoW forums altogether because of all the trolls, he's moved on to just general BattleNet.
Yeah, you rarely see them post now. In fact,
Yeah.
I remember seeing a post on MMOChampion.com's blue tracker that Zarhim responded to, and he's like, somebody asked where the hell all the devs were and why nobody was talking, and he's like, oh, we're all here, we're in a meeting, just whatever. So they're hiding. They've got crap going on, which is fine. Apparently, from what I understand, the next major content patch for World of Warcraft is going to be the biggest non-expansion content patch they have ever released.
I have not heard of that.
Yep, that's
Is it, what is it going to be, like 2 raids?
I have no idea. I don't want to comment on it, but it's somewhere on MMO Champion, I believe, is where I read it. Regardless, we're on
We'll talk
Diablo
about
3
it.
now.
We'll talk about it next time.
Yeah. Once we get more information, we'll talk about it. We'll give our feedback, speculation, all that wonderful crap. Right now, it's Diablo 3. The big controversy with Diablo 3, and aside from the real money auction house, is the fact that they have decided once and for all that due to the way that the new BattleNet system's architecture works, BattleNet 2.0, we saw it with the new StarCraft partially. Now we're going to see it with Diablo 3. Um, Diablo 3 is going to be online only. There is no single player, unlike both of the Diablos beforehand. Um, I kind of, there's a lot of good and bad about this. I like the idea of having a more secure system in terms of people being able to exploit the game by having a client server architecture set up to where the majority of the stuff basically the exact same way World of Warcraft works. Your sound files, your textures for your characters and things like that are hosted on your computer, your client computer.
And then everything else, like NPCs and things that can be exploited and hacked just to change the way the game works, are hosted on the client, so you can't affect them
You mean
in a negative
server?
way. Yeah, it's a server.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
That's exactly how it works. Basically, the things that they don't want people messing around with too much are going to be hosted on the server, regardless. What that means for Diablo 3 is that you cannot play Diablo 3 without an internet connection, unlike in the past where there was a single player.
Which actually has gotten a lot of negative reception on the forums. And I don't understand why those people will be whining about that. I mean, obviously they have internet, they can post in the forums. Why can't they play Diablo 3 online?
Yeah, well, that's why we're bringing this subject up because I want feedback from both Utters and from Ender because these guys have opposing opinions, and I think they're good points. That's why I'm going to give the floor to both of them. Gentlemen, the floor is yours. Utters, since you are the new guest this week, I'm going to go ahead and let you go first. Give your reasons on why you think this is a good or bad idea. Go ahead.
Well, I think it's not a problem because the vast majority of the people, if not like every single player, well, probably not, but the vast majority of the players who play Diablo 3 are probably not just playing Diablo 3 like as a single game. They're probably also playing other Blizzard games. You don't often come across like a WoW player that doesn't also like dabble in StarCraft or Diablo, like just an example. And those people, like the people who can whine in the forums and all those people, they obviously have internet, so it shouldn't be a problem for them. And the vast majority of like active gamers have internet, so it's not likely that a gamer who cares enough to complain about it is not going to have internet. And I mean, it just shouldn't be a problem unless you have like some really terrible internet and you can't afford anything, obviously. But I don't think that it's such a big deal. I mean, I don't know I'm not big on Diablo. I don't know how many people actually played the single player, like no, the offline version. But I would imagine it's not that many because the online version would probably give you mm, some perks and some I don't even know the word. I'm sorry, I'm a foreigner.
Okay, well, that's a good way to end it. I agree with some of that stuff. There's from a network standpoint, from an IT standpoint, it seems so much easier to have uh, things other than character models, hosted server side because they're that much easier to change. You don't necessarily have to take everything down constantly. There are hot fixes that will go into place very easily, and it's easier to do that when you have a client server architecture set up instead of just having everything hosted on the client's computer, on the client machine, and then every time something needs to be changed, they need to push a patch out to everybody.
Yeah,
It just seems easier that way. That's my opinion on this whole matter.
I agree.
Next, Ender, you've got a very strong opinion about this, and I am very excited to hear about it. Go right ahead, my friend.
Ugh, feels like I'm always Captain Negative on this show. All right. Really, I don't think this is a great move on Blizzard's part. I can see why they feel it would be just on their side, not so much for its customer care, but from a from a company standpoint, it makes everything easier. They don't have to worry about anybody trying to exploit anything. And then again, as you said, for hot patches, they don't have to take the server down. But on the customer side, you're going to end up alienating quite a few people. You mentioned people complaining about it who obviously have an internet connection, but not everyone has a decent enough internet connection to be going around and playing online. In fact, depending on where you live, you might only have the option of being dial up. And Diablo had a great fan base. People loved the game, it got around. And because of that, you're going to end up alienating some people whose only real means for playing these games was playing them offline. I knew somebody who only played StarCraft offline because that was all they could do, but they loved the game that much that they were willing to only play it offline.
Yeah. I mean it you're there's no way you could be wrong about your statement. You are gonna when you make the decision to solely support a specific group of users instead of everybody. When you can't make everybody happy, you're gonna step on toes. Obviously, it's just the way
Yeah.
that this stuff works. And I agree with both of the opinions that were given here. Uh, I think that
Well, what I think they could do is do what they did with StarCraft, but I mean that would just that would just drive up the price of the game and the price to develop the game. What they could do is have it both single and online and multiplayer online version like they did with Diablo 1 and 2. And I mean all that would do is drive up the production value, I mean the production cost uh and the actual retail price. But I don't think that'd be substantial enough to lose as many I mean, I think that would be substantial enough to lose more people than they would have lost if they did online only.
yeah, that's a good point too. I mean, there's no matter how you look at it, as far as us, the end users are concerned, there's gonna be so many different good and bad points about this, and I'm not in any way saying any of these things that we just brought up are bad points regarding this situation. In the end, it's very, it's a very touchy subject, but it's not really our place to tell Blizzard. Yes, we pay their paychecks, but we really can't dictate how we think they should run the game. Now, I will say this before we move on to the next subject here. Um, it's still not done.
Yeah,
This
they
can
haven't like put
change.
any. It's not set in stone yet. They can still change it.
Exactly. Now we're
If
just
they get enough negative feedback about it, I think they will because they don't like displeasing the forums and all the community. Like they're a community-based company.
exactly, and that's what I like about it. I mean, look at what happened with Swifty.
Yeah, no kidding. Like he got permanent banned. There was like an uproar in the community, and Blizzard gave it back because it just upset too many
Which I think
people.
honestly, that was
Well, first of all, Swifty shouldn't have been banned. It was I won't get into this, but it was somebody else's fault, and they just pinned it on him because they had to
yeah,
pin it on somebody.
it's kind of. I agree with that, and I'll touch on it this much. When you are famous, as far as internet fame goes, you're going to be followed around, especially if you're publicly known to be on a specific place, website, or server, or things like that. And people want your attention. People want to play with you. People want to talk to you, and things like that. You're going to get that much attention. But
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
if I'm just gonna go into this for like 2 minutes. What basically happened with that whole ordeal was that Zyback, a member of Swifty's guild and a fellow YouTuber, basically just made they were live streaming on Darren McTire's live stream, and he basically told everyone in the live stream to make a level 1 character on certain servers, just like he intended to crash the servers. Like at one point in an event, he actually said, "Let's everyone do this," so that we actually crash the server. And eventually they did. I mean, it happened. They got back on for 2 or 3 minutes, and then Swifty got a GM message saying that he was permanently banned and he'd be removed from the game. And like he was really upset about it. You can tell when he made his vlog, he was really upset and like really hurt him deep down. And he was considering just quitting WoW then, not bothering with a new account because it wouldn't be the same. And then Athene comes in and he says that he'd level Swifty and he wouldn't let him quit. And then Swifty got his account back, and Athene's playing with him anyway because Athene's a boss.
Yeah. And, you know, the thing that I find funny about this is the last comment I want to make on this subject so we can move on, get done with this. The thing that I find really funny is that every time there's zone disruption in the past, like World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King had so many problems with zone disruption from spammers.
Yeah. I remember that.
It took forever for that crap to get cleaned up, and now suddenly an incident happens where one server crashes for something that was completely out of control.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that any of the members of Dark
instant retribution for one user. Like there's suddenly an instant smack for one user. Like what? Why? Like what? As opposed to what the hell happened in Wrath of the Lich King?
I was playing in Wrath, and I was just like walking around doing whatever, and I remember the server crashed. I remember this happened like 3 or 4 times. I was just walking around, and nothing ever happened. Like there was no negative anything about it. They just put the server back up. Everybody went along, and what happened here was that I think it was just such a Blizzard saw that it was like a planned event by Zyback, and I think Zyback should have taken a lot more blame for this than he actually did. I mean, he lost a couple thousand subscribers because of this, and it was like an organized event, and that's exactly what he intended to do. I think that's the difference. Like before, it was all unintentional, and here, this is actually like specifically what he intended to do was to crash the server.
Yeah.
And I think that deserves punishment. Blizzard didn't know it was him because obviously they didn't hear their Skype or their vent or whatever, and so they just pinned it on Swifty because he's the most. He was currently the one who was hosting the live stream because Dara McTire switches out their hosts of the live stream like every 10-20 minutes. And they just pinned it on him because they figured it was him because they didn't know what was going on.
Anyway, that's enough of that subject. It's all said and done. They're back together. Everything's back to normal. Moving on. Next up, Utters brought something to the table that I'm going to let him take control of. And, well, have at it, man. This is your article. I'd like you to talk about it.
Okay. Well, first of all, this is this really shows how much gaming has actually come into the community of the world as a whole. Like it used to be not considered a legitimate pastime before, like a legitimate profession, but now they're taking it a lot more seriously because in the New York Times, like this is like a major worldwide publication. Last night or yesterday morning or something, they posted like an article about a gold farming conspiracy that this is what happened. North Korea sends 30 young North Korean hackers to South Korea to basically just work as gold farmers and sell it to people. Like the people you see if you play WoW and trade chat, go to this website and cheapest race or whatever, it's a sale. And what they do is, well, they made $6 million in 2 years, and the South Korean government kind of caught wind of this, and they, for some reason, they arrested all the 30 hackers, and they claimed that North Korea infiltrated the government or whatever, and they sued North Korea's government and all that good stuff. And then North Korea denied everything, and they said it never happened. And they said that the South Korean government basically invented a conspiracy by saying this. And I don't think, well, honestly, I don't think they should be making such a big deal out of this. Because, I mean, it's not like a huge government conspiracy. It's only $6 million. I mean, America's like, what, $15-16 trillion in debt now? It's not even a big deal to them anymore. That's not the issue, though. It's the issue that North Korea was using South Korea as a place to commit their crime, which it technically is a crime, that they're stealing people's property, and even if it is virtual property. And I don't know what you guys think about this, but I just don't think it should have been made like a big deal. And I don't know, go on.
No, in my opinion, I think it really is a big deal. Because you look at it, it's only how much did you say? It was $6 million, right?
$6 million over 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, 6 million over 2 years. That's still a lot of money. Because
Yeah.
when you start thinking about it, how much money does it cost to make, to cost and produce guns and bombs and all this other stuff? When you're
Yeah.
funding an
It's a big
army,
deal for a government. Yeah.
exactly. It's extra money that you essentially got out of thin air. That you cheated from some other place.
Yeah.
And so it
Well,
really is a big
that's
deal, and it means
that's
that it could keep going. It's another source of revenue for them.
they split all the money between 30 hackers, and they were required to send $500 a month back to the government in North Korea, like as a funding for their government. And well, that's not that much money. Like if you think about it, for a government, $500 a month is nothing.
Well, hold on. With that being said, uh, if anybody listening here has Netflix, um, I kind of disagree with that statement, Utters, because if anybody has actually seen documentaries on how bad the conditions in North Korea are, uh, yeah, that
Yeah,
$500
I
is going to
haven't.
go a long way. Yeah, it's just
Well, I
National
mean,
Geographic did an Explorer, I think, where a small Nat Geo team teamed up with an eye doctor from Nepal who was going into North Korea on a medical uh, trip to do cataract surgery, a very simple procedure that they couldn't do over there. And he had a week to do about 1,000 surgeries, cataract surgeries. Like, just
yeah.
ridiculous. But the conditions were
Well, I
so
mean,
bad, they kept running into so many problems. So that $500 is going to go a long way.
yeah,
And I
over
mean,
2 years. I mean,
well, $500 a month per person over 2 years
no,
is
it's just $500 a month, like just in general.
flat. Oh, okay, well, still that's still going to help them. The conversion rate, you got to consider the conversion rate for currency and all
Yeah.
that crap. It's
Yep.
still a decent chunk of change when it comes down to it, especially in a condition in a country like North Korea that has living conditions that are relatively poor. Um,
Yeah.
on a related note, when Utters brought this to my attention earlier, it reminded me of an article I touched a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was a month ago now. I don't know. It was not too long ago.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's
the
the article you're talking about was published on May 26th, so it's not exactly current news, but it's a
Yeah,
big deal.
it's the same. It's pretty much the same thing. Apparently, there is this story going around that the Chinese in Chinese labor prison camps, the population is forced to farm gold in World of Warcraft to sell, so the guards
It's
make money
ridiculous.
off of it.
I mean, I found about it. I just found out about this when Space Chief told me about it. I thought he was kidding. Like I didn't think this was actually
No,
possible. They're using gaming as a punishment.
yeah,
Like all they do is they do hard manual labor during the day, and then they do 12-hour shifts during the night farming gold. And they said they have like a I don't know, Space Chief. I'm sorry, I'll let you
no, it's cool.
say your
I
story.
was just gonna quote a little bit from the article. Apparently, one of the escaped convicts from this prison camp is quoted by the Guardian, which is a newspaper in the UK. It's like a New York Times style newspaper publication. Um, a 54-year-old man referred to as Liu Dali, not his actual name, is in prison for petitioning about government corruption. He describes a condition to the UK newspaper The Guardian, quote unquote, and I quote, "Prison bosses made more money forcing inmates to play games than they do forcing people to do manual labor. There were 300 prisoners forced to play games. We worked 12-hour shifts in the camp. I heard them say they could earn 5,000 to 6,000 uh, renminbi, renminbi, the Chinese currency, a day. So 5 to 6,000 RMB a day. We didn't see any of the money. The computers were never turned off. So there were two teams of 300 basically that were consistently working around the clock to farm gold in World of Warcraft to sell. So
So, guys, I would just like this is like a moral thing. Next time you buy gold from website, think about who you're buying it from, like what they have to do to get that gold.
yeah, it's there's a reason that there's such a stink by Blizzard about people buying gold. And honestly, it
It's
goes
because
beyond just
none
World
of
of
it.
Warcraft. It goes into any other MMO on the market that has a black market for in-game currency and funding and stuff like that. You've really got to be careful with doing stuff like that, not just because of the fact that it's going to get you in trouble most likely. There's stuff going on that it's like I said in the last episode, the last full episode. If people continue to do it, then that means that there's a market for it, and these horrid things, these atrocities are going to keep happening. And while it hits closer to home it should hit closer to home for everybody listening to this, because we're gamers. This hits us directly. This hits our home, what we do for fun, who we are as people. And this touches us directly. Something's got to be done about this. I mean,
Yeah.
the UN isn't going to jump in on a sanction for humanitarian aid for this crap, but you know, I don't know what I'm not a revolutionary. I can't possibly think up any kind of an action that could be taken up to prevent this stuff from happening. But
I mean, we can't do anything about it. But like the community as a whole,
there needs to be at least some kind of an awareness on this. Forget everything else that's going on with whatever. The only thing that takes precedent over something like a humanitarian issue like this, forced labor, slavery, is the issue in Japan with the tsunami and the earthquakes and the aftershocks. I'm friends with someone on Facebook who runs a TV show in Japan for foreigners to get acclimated with the Japanese culture, and he does all of his broadcasts in English, and he still broadcasts every day, and they're still getting aftershocks of magnitude 6.5 and above every couple days or once a week, or
guys,
every
just
once
remember
in a
this
while.
was months ago, and it's still happening. It's still like a current thing. It's not just like past news that you don't have to care about anymore.
Yep.
They're still suffering from it.
Yep.
And I mean, Blizzard, like I think it was really good on Blizzard to do the Cenarian hatchling.
$2 million American in relief aid, and
yeah, that's huge for Japan. For such a small island with such small population, that's
not just huge. That's not just huge for Japan. It's largest for Japan, but as the gaming community in the public eye, and as a company in the public eye, this is an amazingly good statement to the rest of the world about what we're capable of as gamers, as friends, as members of the community, as members of the human race that spend their time doing a specific thing.
Yeah.
This is a huge statement for us that says, look, we're not self-centered. We pay attention to what's going on. This stuff affects us. We're everyday people. And those people are everyday people that need help, and we are going to reach out to them.
Yeah, guys, if you're not a gamer in particular, just coming across this, we're not like a different race. We're just like you, and we just have a different set of hobbies. We're not like I know that people in schools, like, they totally alienate gamers just for, like, assume they're nerds. And I mean, it's just something we find fun. Maybe you don't find it fun.
Yeah. In fact, on that comment, I want to get off this subject and move on to something else.
Yeah.
But on one last comment on this, there's a StarCraft 2 caster who's been around for a very, very long time. His name's Day9, and I'm a very big fan of his. I love watching his broadcasts, the Day9 dailies. I'm gonna post a link in the description to Day9's website, day9.tv. And on this website, there is a manifesto on the top bar that it's Day9's manifesto regarding gamers. And if you're listening to this, please do me and him a favor. Read it and repost it somewhere. It'll hit home big time because he nails it. I'm not going to go in depth on what it says. I'm going to let it speak for itself. Go to www.day9, D-A-Y, and then the number 9.tv, click manifesto, and read what Sean put up there. And it'll touch home, and it'll make you go, that's
not I'm not even a StarCraft player. I'm not into the StarCraft community at all. But I've actually seen this before. I've read it. I've heard about it online, and it's so true to all of us. Like, it applies to every single person that's going to listen to this. And it's just like what I was saying before. I mean, I understand why you brought this up, Space Chief. It's exactly what I was saying before. It's not like the gamers are like a totally different race of people. We're just we just do different things. We like different things,
Yeah,
and it's not like you shouldn't take it so seriously.
We're doctors, lawyers, sports athletes, mom, dad, grandpa, even now. You know, and we touched on it last episode regarding casual gaming coming into the fold. This is the world of quote unquote video games has changed.
Yeah, it's become a lot more respected and serious, like in the world. Before it was just like joked around. Little kids used to play like on their TV with their family or whatever, but now it's like it's its own industry now.
Yeah, now it's overtaken music and movies as entertainment, and it's something that brings. It's honestly
It brings the community together, unlike music and
not just
movies.
the
They can't do
community,
that.
not just the community. It brings families together now.
Yeah, it
I've
does.
seen
Like
families that have
you
been.
and Not Savard.
Yeah, that's true. Perfect example. Me and Not Savard. I'm not gonna go. I'm not
mean,
gonna
I
like
know
get
it's
too
like
private about this, but Not Savard and I live on opposite ends of the state for specific reasons, and the thing holding my relationship with him together is World of Warcraft, Team Fortress 2, and soon enough Diablo 3. And you know, without it, things would probably be pretty different. And when it comes down to when it comes down to the bottom line, I think I owe a lot of thanks to Blizzard specifically and Valve
yeah.
and Microsoft. You know, it's not
I mean,
necessarily something that they think that they're doing. They don't design.
they don't know that they're doing this in
Yeah,
such a deep level for
it
some
just
people.
happens, and
Like
it's great.
I
And
know for a fact that Blizzard has like changed my life for sure, like forever. It's gotten me into things that I would never even touch. Like for example, my art, like my artwork that I do in Photoshop and 3ds and programs like that. I won't get into that, but like I would have never even considered that as a hobby if I hadn't started playing WoW. And the reason I started doing it was because I played WoW. I had friends who played WoW, and I had friends who also did YouTube, and they needed help with their YouTube channel. And I mean, that's another thing that I've just as a result of playing WoW, I've helped other people like with their own personal things, like just while helping myself too, like getting better. And that's what Blizzard does. I mean, they might not even be aware of it, but they bring people together like on a different level than you can do just being friends.
yeah, Ender, you're too damn quiet about this. I know you've got tons
Yeah,
of stuff to say about this. Come
I
on,
fell
man,
asleep.
speak up.
Oh, I mean, we kind of already touched up on it, but definitely, yeah. I mean, it really does bring the community together. I've actually had quite a few friends who've moved away, and I really only keep in contact with them because we
Yeah, the
happen to
same.
play the same games.
I
You
moved.
know?
I moved like halfway across the world not too long ago, a year and a half ago, and I had a huge group of friends there. And the only way I stay in contact with them now is through World of Warcraft. I mean, we all played it there. It was different. Like here in the United States, where I live now, it's not like a widely appreciated hobby. But in Europe, it's a big thing, just like it is in Asia. And like everyone in my school played it, and we all knew each other. And now I keep in contact with all of them through World of Warcraft. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't be.
Oh, anything else, Ender?
Nah, I mean, we've pretty much topped up on anything. I don't really have much of a differing opinion on this.
As
Alrighty.
usual.
Well, let's move on then. A couple more things left over here. We've got.
Actually, before you move on to like a big uh next big topic, I'd just like to mention Skyrim. I don't
Yeah,
know if that's what you're
yeah.
gonna
I
say,
was gonna
but
move into what's coming up here.
Skyrim is a game that's coming out fairly soon, and it, from what I've heard, like from beta testers and such, is like one of the most anticipated games from them this year. Like everyone says it's an awesome game, and they got really sucked into it and they played it. But the only thing it's lacking is a bit of lore and story. I don't know what you guys know about it, but
Ender probably knows. Ender's in video game retail. He probably knows more about it than I do.
Well, basically, my opinion on the new Elder Scrolls, I have no doubts that it's going to be a great game. But on a personal level, having played a lot of the other Elder Scrolls, is that I feel like it's going to be a little bit disappointing because they're basically putting you on train tracks. It's no longer really your story now. It's the same thing that they did with Dragon Age. First Dragon Age was amazing. You crafted your own backstory. You
Yep.
eventually made your own story. You chose your own race, your class. And now when you went to Dragon Age 2, they're like, okay, this is your story. You can kind of decide how you want to play it, but that's
Not
where your
really.
choices end there. And that's kind of what they're doing here. I can understand with certain developmental points why they wanted to, because they're going to let you do a lot of cool things. I know one of the things I saw was dragon battles are apparently going to become a really big part of this, since the character you play is a dragonborn. And I mean, I know you can't really create such intricate game designs, when you have such huge customability, but I mean, you can create a whole nother game for that. Give it a completely different title. Because when I pick up an Elder Scrolls game, there are certain things that I expect. And being
Yep.
able to really craft my character and make it my own story is one of those things that I expect from an Elder Scrolls
That's
game.
like a standing out aspect of the whole series. Is that that's like what they based their first game on, and now they've kind of faded away from that.
Exactly. And so, I mean, it's probably going to be a great game. I'll play it, but it's honestly going to be disappointing in that aspect. I think it's going to, for the more hardcore Elder Scrolls players, it's going to kind of leave them feeling a little empty inside.
Yeah,
Yep.
only time can tell. I mean, the game's not out yet, and this is a major port for. I hate saying these words. I hate having these words come out of my mouth. This is a console port, meaning they built it around the
my.
console.
Oh my.
Yeah, and they're bringing it to PC. So we'll see what happens, but maybe that's why
Oh,
they
I hate
changed their
that.
format. Maybe not. We don't know.
Oh,
Anyway,
you and your PC master race.
yeah, glorious PC gaming master race and filthy console peasants. That's right. I stole that. Any of you pay attention
I've
to
never
zero
owned a console.
punctuation? Any of you know who zero punctuation is? You might catch that reference, but yeah.
I've never owned a console in my life. Never want to. I mean, I'm PC all the way.
I've
That's
What?
just
I've had a
You've never played a
360.
Sega?
Yeah, I grew up on Sega. I was console first, but I grew up.
Yes, remember where you all started.
I grew up and I built my own computer. Anyway,
Yeah, let's
couple
move
little
on.
short blurbs. First off, Valve announced today that if you, for some frickin' reason, have not picked up Portal 2, the price
Yeah,
just
no
dropped
kidding.
again. You don't have an excuse now. Go out and get quite
What is it
possibly.
now? What is it, like $4 now?
I think it's $29.99 now.
Oh, okay.
So you have no excuse not to get it now. Go
I mean,
out and get one of probably the best games of all time.
it's awesome. I mean, haven't actually finished the whole game. I haven't actually had time recently, but it's like the game is so simple. Like the concept is so simple, but it pulls you in like nothing else. Like when I was really getting into it, I was way more into it than I'd ever been into WoW.
Yeah,
It was ridiculous.
there's Ender. I know you're gonna have plenty to say about this when I drop this name. There are games out there that have the dumbest and most simple concepts in the world that turn out to be the most amazing and fun things that you can get your hands
Pac-Man.
on. Pac-Man, yeah, but I was gonna say Katamari.
I've heard of it,
I
never played it.
I don't know. I wasn't thrilled with the game, but I didn't really I wasn't displeased by it. I don't know why you're assuming I'm such a hater.
I wasn't assuming you were a hater. I was thinking that
That's
you
the
were a
theme.
lover like me, because yeah,
Slash dog.
I will wholeheartedly admit that the first night that I played it, I stayed up the entire night with a case full of energy drinks and finished it in one sitting.
Seriously?
I am not ashamed to say that at all. That is
Wow,
one of the dumbest games I have ever played, but I freaking love it. End of discussion.
no way I could play that long.
It's amazing.
It's
It's the dumbest concept. You're rolling things up into a ball and making it bigger, and it's just the funniest damn thing ever. Thank you, Japan. Once again, you've turned the most retarded concept ever into something way too addictive.
You know what I played? I'm kind of ashamed, but you know what I played for like a good 5 hours straight at one point when I first got it was Hello Kitty Online.
What?
I'm not kidding. Hello.
I'm gonna
Hello
pass.
Kitty Online.
I'm gonna act like I didn't freaking hear that.
It's exactly like Pokemon. I'm not kidding.
My head hurts. Anyway, we've got Portal 2 at the price drop. That's permanent.
I don't know. If you
QuakeCon.
ask me, I don't understand why they're doing that.
Well,
I mean,
it's
they
Valve.
have enough sales.
It's Valve. They do
Sell
that
more
constantly.
copies.
Yeah, it's just to move more copies. Not like they need it. But it's Valve. They could do whatever the hell they want. They're like the Blizzard of shooters, in my opinion. QuakeCon's going on this week. Steam users, if you haven't for some reason seen the store page for Steam, if it's still up, we might be too late now because it is Monday of the following week. They're doing Steam. They're doing Steam. They're doing Steam on sales. No, they're doing sales on Steam for any ID related, ID games related projects, including pre-orders for Rage, another upcoming ID games release that it looks good, but that's about it. It looks good. I can't speak for the gameplay. I haven't played it. I haven't played the demo or anything like that. That's about it. Anybody else got anything they want to talk about? Anything at all going on in the community that they caught wind of? Ender, anything in detail?
I know nothing about gaming news other than the things you linked to
Well,
me.
then
I'm
you need to
sorry.
frickin' change that, son.
Do your homework.
Do your homework.
Okay.
It's all right.
I don't
It's
know,
his first
aside from-
episode, and he's a foreigner. We can cut him a break.
I don't know. Aside from just talking about new games that are coming out, I don't know. I haven't really caught wind of anything too interesting.
Well,
Well, according
remember,
to
kids,
MMO
it's
Champion, there's some bug fixes yesterday. Oh my.
it's just WoW.
Big news.
We're not WoW news. We're everything news. So, that being said, remember, kids, it is the beginning of Q3. We have not even touched the holiday season yet this year. We've got let's just name off a few here. We've got Dota 2 coming out this year.
Battlefield 3.
Battlefield 3. Modern Warfare 3.
Okay,
Whoop.
actually, I do have something I want to say.
Okay.
Just as like a personal, it's not like a big news thing, but just a complaint to EA and DICE. I have a copy of Battlefield by Bad Company 2 that I'm holding in my hand right now, and I have had this copy like pretty much since it came out, and I played it on a separate computer, and I had a separate EA account and everything, which I've lost the information for long ago, and I activated it for multiplayer when I was on that account, right? And what they did when I tried to, well, I have a new account, right, with the EA now, and I tried to activate it for multiplayer now, and they wanted to charge me $10 to let me activate it on a new computer.
Oh yeah, they started doing this stuff with sports games.
Yeah.
For retail, if you bought like Madden 11 and you used the key on like Xbox Live or whatever and brought it back and traded it in, the next person that got it, if they wanted to play online, they had to pay $10 again.
Yep.
On top of having the used game cost, which is complete garbage. I think EA's. You know what? I'm not gonna go there. I am not gonna go there because I'm just gonna
No,
get
go
upset.
there, man. Let it out. We all know it.
EA is one of the worst companies on the face of the frickin' planet because of crap like that. If anybody from EA is listening, come at me, bro.
Quit.
I honestly don't care. You guys are absolutely the worst group of greedy.
Say it.
I can't.
PG-13, man.
PG-13. You are the biggest group of greedy assholes on the face of this planet, and seriously,
Oh my.
you're gonna start losing money.
Is that really PG-13?
It is.
It's an anatomy term. It should be all right.
Anatomy term?
It's also
Everybody's got one.
a donkey. A donkey.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of things everyone has we're not allowed to say.
Like in the last episode. Oh
We're
my.
slowly sliding downhill, folks. Anyway, it sounds like that is going to do it for this episode. Full episode number 2 of EVADEcast. Natsavard should be back with us in the next episode. Remember, like I said, we are going to start doing shorter episodes with a lot more frequently, especially now that we've got 4 constants.
Yeah, like
we've got
we're
guests.
meaning we have 4 people. We're probably gonna have one up every day.
Like
No, I don't want to say that. I'd say maybe
I said probably. I'm not making any commitments. I said probably.
two to three big videos a week. I say it, boy.
I say
Is it who the hell's,
girlfriend.
No, who's the
Foghorn Leghorn.
There you go. See, this is why Ender's one of my best friends. He knows exactly what I'm trying to come up with. Anyway.
Oh, you two, it's so cute.
Anyway, that is going to do it for episode number 2 of EVADEcast. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, favorite, and...
2 udders.
Good. Okay, smartass. 2 udders. Seriously, go check his videos out. He makes some really good stuff. Same thing with Not Savard. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and favorite our videos. It helps us out big time, and we're doing this.
Actually,
we're doing this for you because we love you and we need your support. So please subscribe, like, favorite, pass this around. We work
guys,
our
you have
butts
no
off doing
idea how
this.
much. If you just take half a second out of your day and move below the play button where you clicked to the like button and click, that's like 3 muscle movements. You have no idea how much you help us, especially with the small viewer base we have now. It increases our ratio by several percentages if you just do that for us.
Yep.
And that helps us partnership. It helps us everything.
If you're feeling really freaking squirrely, you can hit a couple keys and cut and paste the URL to this video from YouTube onto your Facebook or your Twitter and help us out.
I don't know.
More.
We're talking to gamers. They don't do much outside of gaming. I don't know. Their muscle tone isn't quite up to that.
Well, that's true. Unless you're a Code S StarCraft player. In fact, that's you know what I had an idea for the video of the week, and I'm changing it. The video of the week this week is gonna be a hand view from behind the keyboard from a Code S. That's top 64 in the world. I believe it's 64. It could be 128. I can't remember. It's GSL, the Korean StarCraft League. It's their top bracket, the best in the world of international players. That's people like my boy Idra. That's people like Naniwa. That's like Rhett. That's MMA, MVP. I'm going to post a link to a video of, I believe it's Losira's hands. And
is it ridiculous?
Oh, it's stupid. So for this video, that is going to be the video of the week. That is going to wrap up this episode. I've already said like, subscribe, favorite, and repost. Please do that, guys. We rely on you.
Can't stress it enough.
Can't stress it enough. I am Space Chief.
We didn't go over
I'm Utters.
who's going to go next.
Yeah. I'm Utters.
For Utters and Ender, I'm Space Chief. We will see.
Ouch, I don't get to say goodbye?
Okay, fine. God.
And this is
Jeez,
Ender.
you're so pushy.
We're done. Good night, everybody.
Go make me a sandwich.